Hello everyone. Hi again, I'm Brianna. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to get started with another class. I'm planning on this one being a little bit shorter than the one yesterday. The one yesterday ended up being a little longer than I expected. And we're going to get into some heart opening today. And this style of this class today is going to be a little bit more dynamic movement based. So again, if you take my classes in the studio, this is sort of more what you'll see in my classes. A lot of movement, a lot of dynamic flow. Yesterday was a lot of alignment cues and things like that. We're going to move a little bit more today. So again, you're going to need 2 blocks or books if you don't have blocks. If you don't have books, get yourself some books sometime soon. You can also use a pillow. We're going to start sort of in a lying open shape, and you can also use a pillow, or if you have a bolster, anything that's kind of sturdy that you can lie on. So we're going to start in a supported fish pose. And we're going to use these 2 blocks. And the first one is going to come just below your shoulder blades. And I'm going to place mine on the second highest level, just like this, horizontally on my mat. And it takes a little bit of finagling just to figure out what the best spot is for you. If you're a lady, or if you identify as a lady, it's going to roughly come like where your bra strap would be, the bottom of your bra would be. If you don't identify as a lady, you can imagine where that is. Again, it's sort of right where your shoulder blades start to wing out, and you can kind of feel where that is. And then this other one is going to come for your head. So it's a good idea to start it on the highest level. And if you find that that's a little bit too high for you, again, it takes a little bit of trial and error. You can bump it down, but since this is the first shape that we're taking, I recommend starting on the highest level. And then you're gonna open your knees out wide to the side and bring the soles of your feet to touch. I am going to include in this video description my good friend Kara. I screenshotted some of my playlists. I don't use Spotify, I use Apple Music, but I screenshotted some of my playlists, and she made a couple of Spotify playlists for you that are just like mine. So I'm going to include that in the description here. So if you need to pause this video and go look up her Spotify, she's been very generous with her time and sharing that with you. So go cue it up, whichever one you want, and then return here, unpause. You can make as big of a diamond shape as you need to here. So if your heels are really close to your hips, that's going to be more intense. If they're further away from your hips and you're making a bigger diamond shape, that's likely going to be a little bit less intense for most bodies. And best you can, just allow yourself to sink down into your blocks. I usually start with my hands on my low belly, and then I end up moving them out because I can get a really yummy, delicious stretch along the fronts of my shoulders, my pecs. Ask yourself what you want to bring into class today, what you already are bringing into class with you, what's going on physically, mentally, spiritually. And decide if you're keeping it or if you're not keeping it. And set any other intention that you'd like to here. Draw your awareness to your low belly space. See if you can expand that space a little bit more. Sometimes that's difficult to do when we're in a shape like this. We're always doing our best. That's all we can do. Take a couple more deep rounds of breath. And then as you're ready, you're going to slowly bring your knees together on either side, it doesn't matter. And then you're just going to kind of carefully roll off of your blocks, remove that one from behind your spine, remove the one from your head, set them off to the side. You may or may not need them later. And then roll onto one side, cradling your head and neck in your bottom arm. Press yourself up into a seat. And then just find a comfortable Sukhasana sit. So Sukhasana means that we're kind of drawing our heels in toward our hips like this with one ankle in front of the other, but you can also find a cross-legged seat if this doesn't work for you. And you can kind of remove anything that's going on in your tush area so that you can ground down a little bit more. And then on an inhale, sweep the arms up by the ears. Exhale, send the right arm out to the side. Bend into that elbow and tip all the way over. Keep reaching out through your left fingertips. Start to spiral your left shoulder down towards the earth. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. And then sweep that arm through center, all the way over to the left. Right arm reaches up alongside the ear. Bend into that left elbow. And breathe into this whole right side body. If you had that playlist queued up, you can start it at any time. I'll tell you when we're starting to cool down and you can kind of skip through some of the songs. This probably won't be a full hour length class. So you can kind of skip to when you notice that it's songs that are a little slower. So reach out through your right fingertips, keep reaching. Spiral the right shoulder down towards the earth. Sweep that arm back. And we're gonna move back and forth a couple more times. So moving back over towards the right side, left arm reaches. We'll move quicker. So spiral the shoulder down, sweep the arm, right arm reaches. Let's do one more each side, moving to the right and to the left. Come back to center. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And you can bend your elbows quite a lot here. So actually everybody bend your elbows to start. Squeeze your elbows in towards each other. Find that opening across the fronts of your pecs again, the fronts of your shoulders. And then keep your palms, or your knuckles rather, glued towards your low back. And then just think about puffing your heart up towards the sky. And your gaze can kind of be wherever. If you want, you can tuck your chin in slightly. And then if you feel ready, you're going to start to chase the ground with your fists. So I'm just moving my fists more down towards the earth. Maybe I'm straightening my arms out a little bit. If that doesn't feel good, just bring your knuckles back to your low back and breathe there. And then slowly release this clasp. From here, we're going to bring our arms out to a cactus shape. Bend, turn, T, goalpost, whatever cue makes the most sense to you. Go ahead and switch your ankles if you're in that Sukhasana seat with your ankles crossing so that we try and balance ourselves out. And then reach those arms out to that goalpost shape. We're going to take a full inhale here. Space between the ribs and the hips. Lift up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, I'm going to make a sharp twist over towards the right. So I'm going to come back to center as I inhale. Over to the left. You can even make that sound if you want, no one cares. Come back to center, to the right, center, to the left. Follow your breath. So inhale will always bring you to center. Exhale, sharp twist. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then start to move quicker. So you don't have to follow your breath. You don't have to pause. This can be more of a dynamic movement. We're warming up our spines, we're warming up our whole bodies. Come back to center when you're ready. Roll over your shins and come forward to hands and knees, that tabletop action. So from your hands and knees, we're going to move through some cat and cow motions just like we did yesterday. If you need to go back to the video yesterday and listen to some of those alignment cues, awesome, do that. So fingers spread wide, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take an inhale to tilt the sit bones up and back. And exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Move back and forth. Do one more round. Return to your neutral tabletop. We're going to find a puppy pose here. This can be as gentle or as deep as you need it to be. So with our puppy pose, I'm going to start to reach my arms out to the sides in a big V shape. I'm going to come up onto my fingertips, and I'm going to walk my hands out, and I'm going to keep my butt and my hips over my knees. So tendency is that as soon as we start to do this, we want to come into this action more like a child's pose, or even further back. But we're not doing child's pose right now. We will soon. So hips over the knees. As you walk your hands out, once you get here, you might bring the palms down if that feels better to you. And then I'm thinking about pulling my chin and my heart towards my mat. So I'm melting here. If it feels better to bring your forehead down, then bring your forehead down. I'm keeping my core engaged. I'm hugging my navel to my spine. And I'm breathing. I'm going to carefully walk my hands back up, tabletop. Walk your hands out in front of you a little bit, a couple palm prints, one or two. Tuck the toes. Wrap your elbows back. Downward facing dog, lift. This first down dog of the day can feel a little bit sticky, so pedal out your legs. Shift in any way, shape, or form. Find stillness when you're ready. Bend your knees and look forward. Step or lightly hop up to the front of your mat and fold in. Try to keep a long spine. Remember, bend your knees if you need to bend your knees. Most of us do. On an inhale, find length. Halfway lift. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise. Bring the arms all the way up and overhead. Whoop, lights in the way. Bring your palms to touch overhead. Find a Kali Mudra. So Kali Mudra is index fingers are steepling while my other fingers interlace. And then I'm going to find that same vertical space. So when we're back bending and when we're heart opening, we have to make space for our spines, basically. And we have to make space for the opening to happen. So the way that we can do that, one of the ways that we can do that, is by lifting, lifting, lifting. So I'm going to tuck my tailbone under, find that vertical space, my core is engaged, I can feel it, and then start to take a mini back bend here. Trace the sky with your fingertips. Come back to neutral. Swan dive all the way forward, forward fold. Inhale, heart lifts, find length in the spine. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back 1 foot at a time into your high plank. Remember, you can drop your knees down if you need to. I'm only going to do this first vinyasa with you, and I'm going to skip the rest that I cue, because as you might imagine, it's very difficult to teach these classes while you're doing every single move. So I'm going to skip the vinyasas. You can too. Take an inhale. Wrap your shoulders back onto your spine. Bend the elbows. Lower in one piece. Untuck the toes, charge the legs, lift up cobra, and lower back down. A little different this time. We're going to lift up cobra. You're going to want to be a little bit lower than you would normally go and float your hands off of your mat. Use your back body, these muscles, to keep you up and engaged. Keep those legs charged. Bring the hands back down. Press up to your tabletop and down dog. All right, so we're going to take 2 more rounds, just like that, moving through our sun salutations. And when we come into that cobra pose, we're going to do the same thing that we just did. So you're going to lower cobra, and then you're going to lift cobra. You're going to lower, you're going to lift up to a baby cobra, and then float the hands. And I'm going to walk you through it, of course. So bend your knees, look forward. Step, hop, float, crawl, dance. halfway lift on your next inhale. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise, come up. Find that Kali Mudra grip, index fingers steeple, other fingers interlace. Find vertical space, lift, little mini back bend, trace the sky. Come back to neutral. On your next exhale, swan dive all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or float back. I'm going to skip this, but I'm going to cue you with my voice. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, find that cobra pose. Lift the heart, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, lower. Inhale, baby cobra, lift up just about halfway. And then float your hands and use your back body to keep you up and engaged. Lower back down. Lift up and back down dog. Breathe. Bend the knees, look forward. Step or hop up to the front of your mat. And fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise. Avoid the lights, picture Kali Mudra. Find space. Little bit of a back bend, trace the sky. Come back to neutral. Swan dive forward. Halfway lift. Step back, high plank. Take an inhale once you arrive. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra pose, press into the hands. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up halfway, and then float your hands. Lower back down. Lift up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe. On an inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. Keep your toes pointing straight down towards the earth. You can even look, make sure. Take a micro bend in your left knee and then pull that left outer hip back. Let's take one more inhale here. Exhale, pull the right foot forward inside your hand, soft as you can. Back knee is going to sink down to the earth. Reach the arms up by the ears. And then we're going to find that same Kali Mudra grip here. So index fingers steeple, palms squeeze in, elbows and forearms squeeze in towards your head. Find vertical space, lift, and then drive your hips forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, start to trace the sky with your fingertips. Inhale here. Exhale, hands come down inside your right foot. And find a little bit of movement in your hip here. So you could shift side to side, front to back. You can make circles, whatever you want. So whenever we're working towards heart opening and back bending, we think sometimes that all we need to do is warm up our spine. And of course we need to warm up our spine. But back bending is also hip extension. So anytime you're in a wheel pose or you're in this low lunge or you're in a high lunge and you're finding this back bending, look at how much my hip is extending here. So we have to warm up this part of our bodies as well in order to get more lift, in order to get more extension. It's not always just about the spine. So let's pause in center. Your hands are on the inside of your foot. You can come to blocks. You can come to fingertips, whatever you need to here. And then go ahead and frame your front foot. Bring the right hand outside. Take an inhale to lean slightly forward. And as you exhale, find a runner stretch. So I'm gliding my hips back. I'll move my hands back so you can see. My right toes are pointing straight up towards the sky, digging my heel down, and I'm pulling that leg back in space. And you'll feel your hamstrings start to turn on and engage here. Take a full round of breath. Inhale. Exhale. This time as you inhale, tuck your toes behind you if they're not there already. Step into your front foot. Lift the back knee up and sweep the arms up by your ears. High crescent lunge. From here, we're going to cactus our arms. Take a deep breath in, find space. Exhale, twist towards the right. Come back to center, lift. Exhale, twist towards the left. Come back to center. Now start to drag your elbows towards your hips and use your shoulder blades like little scoops. So I'm scooping the back of my heart straight up towards the sky. I'm lifting and breathing. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands down inside your front foot again. You're going to spin your back heel down, straighten your front leg, and stay right here. Bend into that front knee again. Frame your front foot, spin up onto the ball of your back foot. Walk your hands forward. Shift weight into your right foot here. Float your left leg up to hip height, supported warrior 3. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're coming into a Shiva squat. So you're going to bend both knees, almost like you're curtsying. You're going to pull your left knee in behind your right knee, and then we're going to extend again. 2 more. Shiva, extend, Shiva, extend, feet meet, heart bows. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, set your feet up for a chair pose. Inhale into it, chair. Exhale, airplane your arms, keep your chest bright. Keep sinking low in your hips. Reach the arms back up alongside your ears. Rise up to standing. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale your journey back to a down dog. So you can head right there. You can move through a vinyasa. You can take a child's pose. On an inhale, lift your left leg high. Take a look at those toes, make sure they're pointing straight down. Micro bend your right knee and pull that hip back. Scissor your inner thighs together. Take an inhale here. Exhale with control. Pull that left foot forward, light as you can, step it down. Sink the back knee. Sweep the arms up, low lunge. Kali Mudra grip, index fingers steeple, forearms and elbows squeeze in, palms squeeze in, find space, lift, mini back bend. Come back to neutral. Bring your hands down inside your front foot and find some movement here. And you can always heel toe your front foot out to the side a little bit more to give yourself some space if you feel like you're a little bit stuck here. Don't be stuck anywhere. You're never stuck anywhere. Unless you're stuck inside your home right now. All right, end with your hips descending. We're in this low lunge shape. Remember, we've got to warm up our hip flexors, so hang out here, driving the hips forward, but with engagement. Keep pulling that right up, or the left outer hip back, rather. And then frame your front foot. If you heel toe the foot out, heel toe it back in. Take an inhale, drive the hips forward. Exhale, runner stretch, send them back. Left toes point up. Use your hands on blocks if you need to here. Dig the left heel down and pull that leg back. So a lot of times we think that, oh, if I'm way back here, this is a version of runner stretch. But for me personally, I don't feel anything in my hamstring right now. And the whole point of the shape is to activate our hamstring and to stretch it as well. So we can get a lot more engagement and we can get more stretch if we actually come up out of our mats. And even here, if I'm collapsing like this, I don't feel it very much. But if I dig my heel down, I lift my hips up out of my mat, ooh, there it is. And then I'm pulling this left hip back. Take another full round of breath. Inhale and exhale. As you inhale, tuck your back toes, step into this front foot, lift the back knee up, rise up high, crescent lunge. Cactus your arms. Take a deep breath in. Twist towards the left. Center. Twist towards the right. Center. Drag your elbows down towards your hips. Use your shoulder blades to scoop the heart up. Lift. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, hands come back down inside your front foot. Spin your back heel down. Straighten your front leg and hold. Bend into this front knee again. Spin up high onto the ball of your back leg. Walk your hands forward, just about a palm print or so. Give up on your fingertips or blocks if you want to. Step into this front foot. Float the right leg up to hip height. Supported warrior three. Now just like whenever we were in our down dog and we wanted to make sure that our toes were pointing straight down, take a look, make sure they're pointing straight down here as well. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, Shiva squat. Bend into both knees, little curtsy action. Extend. Shiva squat. Extend. Shiva squat. Extend. Feet meet. Fold in. On an inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, set your feet up for chair pose. Inhale into it, sweep those arms up, bum sinks low. Airplane the arms, torso descends, but your chest stays bright, so keep those shoulder blades into the back of your heart. Find that opening across the fronts of your pecs, and then I just noticed that my butt was sticking out, so can you shorten the space between your hips and your knees, and squeeze your glutes. You can even do this, make sure they're on. Now from here, I'm going to stay with my arms reaching back, but I'm going to straighten my legs. I'm going to rise up onto my toes, diver's pose. So just like you're a diver, peeking over the edge of the diving board, thinking about whether or not you're going to do it, release the heels, chair pose. Cactus the arms, take an inhale, exhale, twist towards the right, come back to center, twist towards the left. One more each side, keep sinking low in those hips. Center, right, center, left, center, bow. Halfway lift on your next inhale. Exhale your journey back to your down dog, whether that's through vinyasa or not. Okay, we're gonna return to that base sequence, but we're gonna add on little pieces as we go through it this time. And I will see how I feel. We might do it a couple times, who knows? So on your next inhale, reach the right leg up and back. Exhale, pull the foot forward. We're moving a little bit quicker with our breath this time. Drop the back knee, sweep the arms up. Kali Mudra, drive the hips forward, space between ribs and hips, back bend, trace the sky with your fingertips. Take just one inhale here. As you exhale, come right into your runner stretch. So hips glide back, right toes point up. Right away, inhale, reach up, high lunge. Cactus the arms. Twist towards the right. Come back to center. Twist towards the left. Center. Bigger heart opener. Scoop those shoulder blades onto the back and the heart up. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands inside the front foot. Spin the back heel down. Straighten your front leg and fold. Walk your hands around to face the long edge of your mat, so you're walking towards the left. Finding yourself in a wide-legged forward fold. Feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat. Bow in. On an inhale, lift up halfway. Make sure your hands are underneath your heart. You can come up onto blocks always. Anytime we have our hands down, use your blocks. And I almost always come up onto my fingertips. I come on my fingertips in a lot of things. So I'm going to root down into I'm going to mirror you. So I'm going to root down into my right hand. And I'm going to start to trace the inside of my right arm with my left thumb. Once I find my shoulder, I'm going to cross to the left shoulder. And then I'm going to lift, squeeze, and open my left shoulder towards the side. And then maybe I'm reaching this left arm up. And maybe my gaze lifts as well. Take an inhale. Exhale, thread this left arm underneath your right. Catch the outside of your right leg somewhere. Crawl the right fingertips forward. Pull on the outside of this right leg and let your head and neck get heavy. So they release out of this shape. We're going to rock around to face the back of the mat. So your hands are going to frame your left foot. Your back knee is going to spin or sink down. And then I'm going to walk my right hand out to the side of my mat, and I'm going to spin my fingertips open a little bit, as much as you can. And then from here, I'm going to bring my left hand to my inner thigh on that left side, and I'm just going to start to pull this or push this knee away from me, rolling to the pinky toe edge of my foot, just as much as I'm able. Now notice if you're sinking into this right side, can you keep that action of drawing your left hip back and your right hip forward? Slowly bring the whole sole of that left foot flat again. Walk your hands back around. Framing your front foot, lift the back knee up off of the earth. Walk your left fingertips out forward and wide, about a palm print or two. Shift weight into your left foot. Float your right leg up. And then from here, we're going to stack our hips on top of one another. You can keep your right hand down, or you can start to reach it up towards the sky, finding your half moon pose. Now, half moon is a lot of core. All of our yoga poses are a lot of core. But the way that we find a lot of grounding here is by thinking navel to spine. So I'm hugging everything in. And then I'm also thinking strength in my floating leg here. So I'm flexing my toes. I'm squeezing everything. My kneecap is lifting. My quad is engaged. And then from here, I'm going to start to cactus my right arm, maybe. And I'm pulling my heart up even more. And then I'm going to take a really deep bend in my left knee, as deep as you can go. Trust your leg. And I'm gonna root my right big toe down, soft. Setting up for a warrior two. I did not do a very good job there. And then I'm gonna reach out and up. Warrior two. Gazing over that left middle finger. Straighten your front leg. Tip your hips back towards the right and your left fingertips forward until you can't go anymore. And then wherever this left hand falls is where it falls. So don't worry about getting the floor. We sort of see triangle pose in like a lot of yoga magazines or, you know, Instagram or whatever. They're like, oh, my hand has to be all the way down here and I have to be hanging out. You don't have to. I promise you, you don't have to. So it's actually a lot, well, we can get a lot, it's not better, but we can get a lot more length if we actually come up out of the pose. And look at how much length I just found in this side body, in my left side body. A block is your friend here as well. And we want to try and keep a light touch on that left hand wherever it is. Now from here, and you can carry your block with you, you're going to start to move. Actually, we're not going to do that because not everyone may have a block. So forget it. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring your right hand down. Walk your hands around through that wide-legged forward fold again. Take a moment here, bow. Walk yourself back around to the front. Step back into a high plank. Move your right hand in front of your shoulder a little bit. Spin to the outer edge of your right foot. Shift weight into your right hand. Side plank. Press into that right hand as you lift the left arm up. Maybe you can start to float your left leg. Maybe you can start to bend that knee and hug the knee in. And maybe you can start to reach the left arm alongside the ear. And then maybe, you start to curl your heart open, looking up towards the sky, opening your hips. Come back around high plank, use your core, vinyasa or not. Let's see if I remember all that on the other side. On an inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, pull the foot forward. Sink the back knee. Inhale, reach up, Kali Mudra. Take an inhale for space. Exhale, a little bit more of a back bend. Inhale here. Exhale, runner stretch. Right away, inhale. Oh, I'm about to speak. Okay. This is real, right? All right, as you inhale, come up into your high crescent lunge. Cactus your arms. Twist towards the left. Come back to center. Twist towards the right. Center. Elbows draw down, heart lifts up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hands come down inside your front foot. Spin the back heel down, straighten the front leg, and bow. Walk yourself around to your wide-legged forward fold, so you'll walk around to face the long edge of your mat, and bow in. On your next inhale, lift up halfway. Make sure your hands are underneath your heart. Root down into your left fingertips and trace the inside of your left arm with your right thumb. Once you hit that shoulder, you're crossing over. Maybe you're lifting the arm up. Notice if you brought your hips with you. You might have. So if this hip is going out to the side, pull it back and then reach the arm up. And keep pressing into your left hand. So if you're hanging out in this joint, can you make this more active by pressing? Take an inhale. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left. Catch the outside of your right foot, or not your right foot at all. Catch the outside of your left leg somewhere. Crawl the left fingertips in front. Pull on that left leg and let your head and neck hang. Walk your hands back. You're going to walk around to frame your right foot. Drop your back knee down. And then you're going to bring your left hand out to this side a little bit more and spin your fingertips out. And then you're slowly going to let these hips descend. And then bring your right hand to the inside of your thigh and press into that thigh so that the knee is dropping away from you. Notice what this left shoulder is doing. If it's doing this, okay, but then try and make it do this. So we're rolling that shoulder open. And then maybe you're going to cactus your right arm and open up even more. Bring both hands down. Walk them forward. Lift the back knee. Walk that right hand even more forward and wide, setting up for your half moon. So you're going to step into this front foot, float the back leg up, and then we're stacking our hips and our shoulders. So I'm trying to get my left hip on top of my right, and then I'm maybe going to reach my left arm up. Think core here. So I'm still plugging my left leg into my hip, and I'm keeping my navel hugged into my spine, and if you fall, who cares? And then maybe you're cactusing this left arm, and you're opening the heart up even more. Your gaze can still stay down, by the way. Mine is still down. Now trust this right leg. Bend into it as deeply as you possibly can. See if you can root that left big toe down. Check out the feet, make sure they're in line. Warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Tip your hips back towards the left and your right arm forward until you can't reach it anymore. And then wherever it goes, it's probably your shin. Keep it there. And reach the left arm up. You can use your block. If your hand makes it down to the floor, either on fingertips or a flat palm, and you're still using your legs, and you're still finding length in both of your side bodies, both the right and the left side, well then okay. But for a lot of us, for us to be able to find this length, we need to come up out of the floor a little bit. No shame. And then when you're ready, you're gonna bring that left hand down. Walk yourself through your wide-legged forward fold, all the way up to the top of your mat. Plant the hands, step back, high plank. From here, shift weight into your left hand and your left outer foot. You can move that left hand in front just a little bit. We don't want it directly underneath the shoulder. Spin to the outer edge. Reach your right arm up and hold and breathe. Press into that left hand. Stay here or float the right leg. Stay here or hug the knee in. Stay here or maybe you're cactusing and you're spinning the heart up towards the sky. Whoop. And if you fall, you just fall into wild thing like I just did, and then you open up into it and you feel good about it. And then we're gonna come back to your high plank and lower everything down. Untuck your toes, bend your knees, flex your feet. Bring your hands back by your heart. Keep this action in your legs, and we're gonna lift up into a cobra pose in this shape. So press into your hands and lift the heart. And lower. Press, lift. Lower. Press, lift. Lower. Reach your arms alongside your body. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Hug your elbows in, same shape that we found in the beginning of our practice. Keep your arms glued here. Lift up head, chest, and shoulders. Lower. Lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. Press your fist towards the back of the room if you can. And we're going to take a fake bow pose. So you're going to lift up just head, chest, and shoulders and press your fist towards the back of the room. You're going to feel it in your back body. Lower legs, lower hands. Rest your head somewhere and breathe. Palms by your chest. Lift up and back. Downward facing dog. Hair. My hair is everywhere. Mine and my cat's. All right, do we think we've got one more in us? I think we've got one more in us. We're gonna do it with our breath, and we're gonna add on just one more little component, which I already sort of showed you because I accidentally fell into it, but we're gonna add a wild thing from our side plank if you want to do that. And if you don't, then you stay in your side plank, or you can also modify your side plank. So when we came into that side plank action and I was doing this, you can also bring your bottom knee down like this, and you can reach that top arm up. This is way, way, way easier, so just take this option. You can also stagger your feet, that helps too, where instead of coming to the outside edge of just that foot and balancing on that razor thin edge, you're bringing your top foot in front, and then you have more of a firm base. Okay? Do what you need to do. All right, we're gonna do one more dynamic style, and then we're gonna cool it down. Let's go. All right, from your down dog, right leg lifts. Pull the foot forward, sink the back knee. As you inhale, sweep the arms up into Kali Mudra. Exhale, trace the sky with your fingertips. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, run your stretch. Inhale, high lunge. Cactus the arms, twist towards the right. Come back to center. Twist towards the left. Center. Scoop the heart up as you drag your elbows down. Bring your hands to the inside of your front foot. Spin the back heel down, straighten the front leg, and fold. You can bend your elbows straight back, sort of like I'm doing. Now bend into this front knee again. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold because I forgot earlier to do the Shiva squats. So it's fine, we'll skip them here. Wide-legged forward fold. Walk yourself around to the back of your mat. Sink your back knee down. Spin the right fingertips out to face the side. Bring your left hand to the inside of your thigh and press that leg away from you. Maybe you're cactusing your left arm and you're opening. Hands come back down. Walk your left hand forward and wide, setting up for half moon. So float that back leg. Stack your shoulders, stack your hips. Maybe you're reaching the right arm up. And maybe you're cactusing and you're opening this heart up even more. Trust your left leg, bend into it. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Option here to reach your right arm alongside your ear. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release the right hand down. A little bit different, you're gonna walk through your wide-legged forward fold, but this time we're gonna spin the toes out and the heels in. and find a goddess pose. So sink down into the hips. Let me adjust my shorts. Sink down into the hips. You can bring your hands to your thighs if you want, or you can reach the arms up alongside the ears. And we're gonna find those same little twisting actions that we found in our seat. So, cactus the arms. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist towards the right. Center to the left. Start to move quicker. And you can get rid of that pause. Pause and center. Parallel the feet as you straighten the legs and fold in. Walk yourself around to the front of your mat. Step back, high plank. Shift weight into your right hand and your right foot, or take a different modification. Move that right hand out in front of you a little bit. Roll to the outside edge of that right foot. Reach the left arm up. Maybe you float the foot. Maybe you hug the knee in. Then moving into wild thing if you want. I'm going to start to spin my heart open even more. I'm using my top arm to kind of lead me here. And then I'm going to place my left toes on the back of the mat behind me with my leg bent. And then I'm going to press into my right hand. My left arm is going to reach alongside my ear. I'm pushing, I'm lifting, and I'm reaching my left fingertips down. And then I'm going to adjust as slowly as I got into it. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to use my core to do that. So I'm hugging, 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 high plank, vinyasa, or skip it. Left leg lifts as you inhale. Exhale, bring the foot forward. Sink the back knee. Inhale, arms reach up, Kali Mudra. Exhale, hips drive forward, a little bit of a back bend. Inhale here. Exhale, runner stretch. Inhale, high lunge. Cactus the arms. Twist to the left. Center to the right. Center, scoop the heart up. Elbows drag down. Take another inhale. As you exhale, hands come down inside your foot. Back heel spins down. Front leg straightens. Bend the elbows straight back behind you and bow. Walk yourself around to that wide-legged forward fold again. And fold in. Walk around to frame your right foot. Sink the back knee. Reach the left hand out to the side. Fingertips spiral open. Bring the right hand to the inner edge of your thigh and press this leg away from you. You can stay right here with the support. Or you can start to cactus that right arm, pulling your heart, twisting it towards the side. And bring the arms back, foot plants. Right hand moves forward and wide. Lift the back knee, the whole back leg, half moon pose. Stack shoulders, stack hips, lift up out of your mat and keep that core engaged. Trust your right leg, bend until you can't bend anymore, until the big toe lands without a sound, and you find your warrior two, and you whip your hair back and forth. Straighten your front leg, triangle. Option to sweep that left arm alongside your ear. Bring the left hand down. Step back, high plank. Moving into wild thing or side plank on the other side. Step back. Move that left hand in front of your shoulder, a hair. Spin to the outer edge of your left foot. And reach that right arm up. Press into your left hand. Maybe you float the foot. Maybe you hug the knee in. Maybe you're cactusing this right arm. You're using that to lead you back. My right toes land. Now, I have a problem with my left shoulder, so I'm not gonna come all the way into this shape, but I'm gonna do what I can with my shoulder. So I'm still gonna spin my heart open. I'm gonna reach my right arm out. And I'm lifting my hips and my heart. And slow and controlled. Look at the floor. Pick that foot up. Core, 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 and more, core, more, core, more, core. High plank. Lower to the earth. Untuck the toes. Bend the knees, flex the feet. Hands are by your chest. Lift up cobra. Lower. 2 more, lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. Reach your arms alongside your body. Lift. Lower. Interlace fingers. Lift. Lower. Press the fist back. Keep your legs where they are and lift up just head, chest, and shoulders. Little fake bow pose. Release the legs. Release the hands and the heart and the head. All right, come back. We've got just a tiny little bit more heat, and then cool down. So come into a Sphinx pose. Your elbows are going to be right underneath your shoulders, and I'm dragging my elbows back as I'm charging my legs. I'm lifting my kneecaps and my quads. Pull the heart forward. Press the back of the head towards the back of the room. I don't know what is going on with this piece of hair. Now I'm going to take an inhale here, and as I exhale, I'm going to press into my forearms and the tops of my feet. And I'm going to lift my body up and take a look at my navel. Core. Come back. Draw the heart forward. Let's do 4 more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, lift. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back into your Sphinx pose. Lower down. Bend your knees. Reach your arms back. We're going to take a regular bow pose, or you can also take locust. If you want to take locust, you're going to extend your legs. Reach the arms back and lift up like this. Or, we're getting ready to come into side bow from here, so move things out of the way. Or, we're going to bend the knees, reach the arms back. Now, you can grab the outsides of your feet if they're accessible. If you can, grab your ankles, one at a time or at the same time. And I'm going to leave my legs where they are. I'm going to try and leave them planted. And I'm going to lift up just head, chest, and shoulders, and I'm going to kick into my hands. Now from here, I'm going to roll onto my right side, and I might have to give myself a little bit of a rock. So rock and roll. And then from here, I'm going to press into my left hand even more. And I'm kicking. And then I'm going to roll back bow. So psych yourself up for it. And come back. Thighs plant, heart lifts, kick. Give yourself a little bit of momentum. We're going to the other side. Roll. And roll to the left. And kick into that right hand even more. Psych yourself up. Roll back. Bow. Thighs plant, heart lifts. Kick into your hands for 1 deep breath in. And lower. And rest. Roll into your back. I'm going to switch the other way. All right, so back, we're gonna take 2 more back bends. I know we've done a lot of back bending and hard opening today, but now we're ready for it, right? So if you wanna try wheel, or if you wanna try, a deeper back bend than you might normally go into, just try it. No one's around to see you, right? So, well maybe, we might have people around. So we're gonna come onto our backs, and we're gonna start in a bridge pose. So I'm gonna press into my feet, and I'm gonna lift my hips up. I'm gonna slide my shoulder blades onto my back. I'm lengthening my tailbone towards my knees. You can think of that like a tailbone tuck also. I'm using all this height. I'm gonna head into wheel. If you wanna hang out here, you hang out here. If you're heading into wheel, you're gonna place your hands by your head with your fingertips facing your shoulders. Now press into your feet and to your hands and lift up to the crown of your head, okay? Now my hair is majorly in the way. I'm gonna walk my hands back a little bit. I'm gonna plug my arm bones back. So I'm wrapping them into the back of my heart. And then I'm pushing down in my feet and my hands. I'm lifting up. And then I'm pressing my heart forward. I'm still pushing into my hands, and I'm still wrapping my shoulder blades into the back of my heart. And I'm breathing here. When you're ready to come out of it, come up onto your toes, look towards the sky, lower. And rest. Knees can knock in towards one another, or you can splay the knees out. Remember, just try to avoid hugging them into your chest until you give yourself a couple rounds of breath here for your spine to neutralize. All right, let's do one more. Heel to the feet in, hip width. Press into your feet, lift the hips up, slide the shoulder blades onto your back, tuck the tailbone under, find length. Stay right here, or hands by ears, fingertips towards shoulders. If you have tight shoulders, move your hands out wider apart from one another to give yourself some space. Now I'm gonna press into my feet and my hands, lift up to the crown of my head so I can reset up. And I'm walking my hands back a hair. I'm wrapping my elbows back and together and my shoulder blades onto my heart, and then I'm lifting and I'm pushing my heart through. And I'm still wrapping my shoulder blades onto the back of my heart, and I'm pushing into my hands. When I'm ready to come out of it, I'm going to lift up on my toes. I'm going to look up and lower and rest. From here, widen your feet out to mat width distance apart. Let your knees fall to the right. Cactus your arms, or you can reach them overhead or to a T. And this might be fine for you. Or you might hook your right ankle on top of your left thigh and press into that leg. If you've got the ankle hook, think about pressing into your leg, but also forward. So we want to lengthen out that outer hip a little. Come back up to center and switch. Knees to the left. Maybe you hook the left ankle on top of your right thigh. That is just an option. If you're not already at the point in the playlist where it seems like you should be cooling down, if it's still like dance party, then skip a few songs. Come back to center. We're gonna come into sort of a tabletop shape with our legs. So you're gonna squeeze your legs together. Your shins are gonna be parallel to the floor. And then bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. We're gonna kind of re-knit our core. We did a lot of back bending today, so we kind of wanna hug everything back and to counter that. So hands come to your thighs, press into your hand, or press into your thighs, but pull back into your hands. And you don't need to do this with 100% of your power, just about half of what you could do. So we're pressing lightly and we're pulling lightly. And you'll probably feel that your core starts to engage here and starts to tone. And that's all we really need, right? Just a counter. Hug your knees to your chest. Massage out your low back, rocking side to side or front to back or circles. Happy baby, so you can have a passive one where you're letting your legs fall into your arms like this, or you can grab the outsides of your feet. And then I'm gonna pull my knees in towards my upper arms so that I have an active happy baby here. As I pull my ankles over my knees, and I'm gonna keep this activation, so I'm pulling my knees in towards my upper arms as I'm pushing into my knees in the same way. And then again, you can rock a little side to side if you want. Come back to center. Hug knees to chest again. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop, release, Shavasana. And once again, our Shavasana is an important piece of our practice. It's what allows our bodies to integrate all of that physical work that we did. If you find that you would rather spend the next few moments in a seated meditation, you're welcome to do that as well. But from wherever you are, try to spend about 3 to 5 minutes here. And if you can spend longer, then spend longer. If you need a little nap, take a little nap.